Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, June the 17th. Hey, we're going to be joined by our usual crew, those troublemakers, Josh, Lee, Tom, and Gentry, but they're going to try to help us put a few more fish in the boat on your favorite body of water. We'll be right back with what the guys have to say. Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, June the 17th. We're joined by Tom Ott, who's going to talk about that big old lake in the sky up there on the mountaintop, Guntersville. What's happening, Tom?
Well, Dano, the splash was here last weekend, and there was 11 million boats out there, and it was a lot of, it's the most I've ever seen ever on the lake. It was unreal. But we did get out. We had a really good day. We fished about a half a day and picked up some really nice fish. Honestly, the lake is in such good shape right now that you can catch fish. The ledges were packed with boats, but you could get out there and kind of fit in and still catch a few fish, or you could go play in the grass. And it was what we did. We kind of stayed away from the crowd, and we were able to catch some nice fish. I think, right now it's still those brim are starting to move out to the deeper edges and kind of depleting the shallower areas of the larger fish, but you can still get up there and catch some nice fish. A popper is really producing right now, your top water baits, but a popper seems to be doing it up in the shallower grass. And just your favorite plastic worm. We were throwing red bug worms, and it seemed to be what the bass were eating. We caught 35 in just a short period of time, and had some friends out there that had not fished for bass on Guntersville and got to enjoy some of that. So it was a lot of fun. And I'm telling you, it's a great time to be out there. The heat kind of can drive you down a little, but the way the spring's been this year, it's been enjoyable at any time you could be out there.
So what did it take to win the Big Bass Splash? What was the big fish? Do you know?
I think it was an 8.54 or something like that. It was actually a friend of a friend of a friend who caught it. Caught it on a 9-inch glide bait and over about 10 foot of grass.
Oh, wow.
So, for what it's worth, I mean, I think everybody, the glide bait is frothing the lake right now. Everybody's throwing them, but yep. I'm telling you, they're catching some really big fish, guys.
So last 30 seconds, tell me what's going on with the crappie bite. Are you seeing crappie anglers? Is the catfish bite a better deal? Just give me a quick rundown of the rest.
Man, the catfish folks have been out there like crazy. The crappie bite, I really haven't heard or seen much of that. I've seen a lot of brim fishermen up, still fishing some of those hard bottom areas, but the catfish seem to be just going crazy. Seeing tons of noodles floating down the river, and they're all bobbing. So, there's plenty of those rascals out there for sure.
Well, don't forget, folks, nighttime's a good time to go out there. Whatever you're going to do, be safe. Have fun. Tom, appreciate it, brother. We'll talk to you again next week. Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, June the 17th. We are joined by Gentry Gordy, who's down there at the Lake Martin and Jordan Lake area. Gentry, what's going on at Lake Martin right now?
Rain, Dana. We have, usually I got to thinking about it, we usually don't get this much rain, this late, this time of the summer. But I think it's going to be a good thing, especially for Martin, Jordan as well, and we'll get to that. But Martin, it'll stain some creeks up, but not like you would think. But when it's warm like this, I start looking for your creeks that's got some, your pockets that's got some creeks running in, and also some of your steeper walls that's got the big houses on it. You're going to continue to have that runoff from earlier in the week. You'd be surprised. A lot of them bigger fish will get up there because it washes down all kind of, creatures, worms, stuff like that. And I've noticed in the past, you can get up there and they'll be laid right up on the bank.
Is it a good time to throw a popper or a walking bait, or are you talking little swim baits, or what are you going to do?
I'm looking more like your square bills and stuff like that. But yeah, your popper, throw right up there, your wacky rigs, and even a spinner bait, especially if you can find it where that water's got a little stain to it this time of year, spinner bait as well.
Okay. Let's turn to Jordan Lake and take a look at that. What's happening over there right now?
Uh, Jordan is that's where I start looking for your creeks. A lot of those pockets on Jordan have those creeks that run in the back of them. So you're going to be getting a lot of fresh water, and it's a lot of the same. Those fish will get up there and look for that stuff coming in with that fresh water. The grass bite is still there, even though it's going to be muddier. You just swap it up. Go to your solid black and blues and stuff like that to for the dirtier water. But your spinner baits, I think it's going to get them moving around a little bit, being that all the rain and the color to the water. Um, you know, Depending on how dirty it gets, you go back to your bright colored spinner baits and chatter baits and even a swim jig in the grass. But if it gets hot, you can still punch that grass. So your grass bite, and then I'm looking at the back of the creeks or the pockets with the fresh water running in.
Anytime we get water running through these systems, those fish can turn on no matter what time of the year it is. Gentry, man, we appreciate everything, brother. And we will talk to you again next week.
Absolutely, guys. We appreciate it.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, June the 17th. We are joined by the svelte Lee Pitts, the crappie king of Weiss Lake, who's up there looking really good on camera. Lee, what's happening at Weiss Lake?
Man, I appreciate the intro there. I feel better already. We're catching fish too, so it makes it all good, man. We're having a good time. The bass bite has been really still strong in the grass. I think it's some of the little, we finally got a little water moving, got some rain in here, but the grass bite here on Weiss, swimming a jig, pitching a jig a little bit, and even throwing some creature baits. And I've just talked to some guys this morning that said they're still getting a pretty good buzz bait bite out there on the river. So some of that stuff out on the river edge, getting a good buzz bait bite. When the sun gets up, you can kind of leave it and have to go back to the grass.
Is it the kind of buzzbait bite where the water takes like 3 weeks to fall out of the sky, or is it the one that sucks it down? What kind of buzzbait bite are we looking at?
Oh, they getting on it. I mean, whenever you know it, when you hear it, they got it. So it's one of them. Oh, it's a good buzzbait bite.
All right, let's turn our attention to Neely Henry. Today is the Coosa River Team Trail right there. What are we going to expect here?
Looking at, I think it's going to be, and what I'm planning on trying to do is swim a jig, do a little punching in that thicker stuff. You get that heavy viney stuff, once the sun gets up. But I think early you can cover some water, buzz bait, walk a frog, something like that, and get something moving. Throw a swim jig and try to get you some good bites. I believe once the sun gets up and gets a little traffic, you're gonna have to get tight and punch. I'm gonna try to stay in the grass all day long because I think that's where you can win it. You get 5 of the right bites in that grass, you come in with pull them with a little red wagon. So that's what everybody's looking for.
Is it the kind of main river grass, or are you looking stuff that's even still off? What kind of areas?
I think most of it's going to be main river, but there's still some of the right in the pockets kind of tight. Some of those fish that don't have to go far to get back out in it. And if they've got a little bit more depth in some of that, even if it's just a foot more, some of those fish still feel comfortable in it and can hang out and not have to go right back to the river.
Yeah, we've seen some good fish coming in some of these evening stuff. I mean, Lynn Johnson had almost 13 pounds for 3, included a 6+. I know there's some good fish moving right now, so I think it's going to be a good Saturday on Neely Henry.
Yeah, I think it's going to be that, and just like you said, man, that's a great catch for 3 fish. And I believe with the little bit of wind we've had, later in the week, and got some water coming in, some fresh water, it's just going to help it.
Appreciate everything, brother. We'll talk to you again next week.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
Well, good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, June 17th. We are joined by Josh Herron, going to talk a little bit of Logan Martin and Lay Lake. Josh, what's happening on that middle section of that Coosa River?
Oh man, we're still kind of in that a little wishy-washy grind phase, but it's going pretty decent. There seems to be more fish getting caught. Fish are starting to move a little bit into their full-time summer gigs, so we're getting a lot of fish that are getting in brush. A lot of fish are getting on these deeper river docks, stuff like that. You can still run around in the mornings, throw a spook, throw a whopper plopper, stuff like that, and catch some fish up, especially around these moons. But outside of that, man, it's just kind of get out there, look around, see if you can catch a few before it gets too hot.
So The quality of the fishing seems to be a little bit better right now. Is that a function of the water that's going through the system with the rains, or is it just where the fish are?
No, it's this time of year. It's current driven. 100%. The more current we get coming through this river system, the higher the oxygen levels in the water get, and it's kind of like a fat guy on a treadmill, man. you cut off his air, he ain't doing a lot.
Yeah.
So the current really kind of it stirs bait up. It creates life in the water, and that scene from the top of the food chain to the bottom of it.
So is it a grass thing you're looking for? Or are you still going to look for maybe seawalls and laydowns and some riprap? What are you going to look at right now?
I mean, I like to grass fish early. It's just kind of my thing. But seawalls are a really good option also. We've had a little bit of a mayfly hatch, so we got a lot of bluegill that are still up shallow, and that's kind of helping some things in the morning. But yeah, especially like the lower end of Logan where you don't have so much grass,
Yeah.
seawalls are definitely a viable option. And it's the same thing. You get these mayfly hatches around these boat docks and these lights and everything else, and it kind of brings that bait up.
Is that something you want to target with a popper and a walking bait, maybe a buzz bait? What do you want to look at around those mayfly hatches?
All the above, a popper, a splash hit, a Michaels, a Rico, it don't matter what you want to call it. Those are all really good options. And you can see that like when you watch these bluegill start eating, you kind of get that pop and that smack that they're eating. And that bait style just replicates that.
Well, it sounds good, brother. I appreciate it. We'll see you Saturday up at the Neely Henry Coosa River Team Trail.
Absolutely. See ya.
Well, that'll do it for our Bucks Island area fishing report for Saturday, June 17th. Hey, if you're at Neely Henry this week, come see the Coosa River Team Trail. They're fishing over there at Coosa Landing. Of course, we'll have the service trailer out there in the morning. I'll be fishing myself. But don't forget, Bucks Island is here for whatever it is you need, whether you're looking for that new boat, whether it's a bass boat, Lumina boat, or a pontoon. We're here to help you. We'll keep you on the water. We'll get you on the water. Got the parts department to help you keep yourself on the water. And then we got the tackle store as well. And don't forget, we appreciate everything that you do. You are the best part of Bucks Island. You're part of our family, and we appreciate you. We'll talk to you again next week.